Hello everyone, welcome back. Smothered Run once again. We're here at Rice Fields for a Shogun 2 multiplayer avatar match-made battle. We have three shrines over here. On my side right here, or on my right, we have the shrine. In the middle we have the archery dojo, and over here we have the farmhouse. Facing off against an opponent, I will cover his setup in a moment. So I immediately deployed, part of my setup was I deployed a Yari Samurai over here to grab the shrine because I want that. It's the most important building on this map. And the second most important is arguably especially for my opponent, is the archery dojo. So that is the second place I'm going to go to, and with the bulk of my forces, to try to prevent him from grabbing it. So what did I bring in this battle? This was one of the first battles I had changed my avatar over to a leadership general, and it was a damn good thing I did for this one. So we have a bow samurai, and that is it for my range. I only have, oh no, sorry, two bows. One's got upgrades to reload skill, and the other one is fresh. I have another Yari Ashigaru. It's a medium funds battle, actually. And for my infantry, other than that Yari Ashigaru, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 katanas. Two of them are lone swords. Sorry, 3 katana samurai and 1 lone sword. They're all mid-rank veterans, 1 or 2 upgrades each. Not too expensive, not too cheap. Probably what I like bringing the most for medium battles. And then I have in the trees here, I have a Yari cavalry and another Yari cavalry. And over here exposed, I have 2 light cavalry, sort of changing up the build I normally bring for medium battles, just to try to see if I can fit some cavalry in more than just light cavalry. So while we're getting ready to go here, here's my opponent's army. Big sigh. 6 matchlocks. Okay, so when I first saw this, my first reaction was WTF. My second one was, why don't you go play Napoleon? And third was, well, you know what? I think I can beat this. It was probably the second time already that day that I'd faced upwards of 4 matchlocks, including the hero ones. So let's go over the setups pretty quick. It's a medium funds battle, so I figure my opponent should know. So I'm not going to feel too guilty. I'm going to try not to show the name too much, but anyway, so here we go. 3 matchlock Ashigaru, we have Tokitaka's Tanegashima, we have Portuguese Tersos, and heavy gunners, because why not? You have the other 3, why not bring those? Then we have Katana Samurai, Yari Samurai, Nagina Attendant, Nagina Sword Attendant, and 1 light cavalry. So this is going to be pretty much my opponent's entire army. Everything's fresh, but these units are super expensive, especially for a medium battle. I am expecting an ambush because I try not to assume anything. Especially on this map. This map just begs gun and cav spam because it's flat. So I was expecting mounted gunners or Donderbus to hop out of the trees too. I mean, at this point, wasn't really going to be surprising. So I was really happy that I brought the retainers I did. I brought the speed retainer for I brought the light saddle. It's a legendary item. The lightweight saddle, so it increases all speed for cavalry by 10%, except when they run through a damn rice paddy. Then they just sort of walk. So first thing I'm going to do, I see his general all the way out over here with no spears, no matchlocks. I'm going to take that chance. I'm going to charge in and delete his cavalry. I need to remove it. The rest, all I want to do is tie this one down. I'm going to try to get into his general. Yeah, also shooting into a blob of your own men is going to kill them. So my cavalry gets into my opponent's general. Getting rid of his cavalry is great, but getting rid of his general is more important. And immediately I'm going to try to get into, yeah, heavy gunners. Hold on, I'm going to get into these matchlock Ashigaru a little bit. Okay. I can't stress enough, bring a balanced army. If you want to run a matchlock build, 2 or 3 is, as much as I hate to give advice to people who like using matchlocks because once they get vetted up, they are the most broken units in the game. All the gunpowder units are broken. That's just my opinion, and I'm going to keep stating it. I know it's a broken record at this point. So bring a balanced army. This army is going to... I can beat 5 or 6 matchlocks, and you'll see how. If you don't support them, you're going to lose. You're not going to win by brute strength. These aren't line infantry like Fall of the Samurai or Napoleon or Empire, whatever that other Total War game is. You're not going to win with just matchlocks. Also, when they're in a blob like this, they're not as effective. They don't work. Heavy gunners are really good at stopping charges, but they don't have the killing power that a regular matchlock will. Heavy gunners, we'll see if you can see a volley get off. You probably won't, because it's going to take them too long to reload. But they'll knock infantry down. That infantry will get back up again. So that volley killed 7, and I'm going to catch his heavy gunners and basically remove them. So there's more Koku down the drain. Over here, my opponent started to shoot through his attendants, and they will rout if he keeps shooting. At this point, since I have the cavalry advantage now, well, I have the everything advantage. I have ranged advantage with 2 bows over his matchlock, so I could sit and skirmish, and I'm going to attempt to do that. Fortunately for him, he stopped shooting, but now I've got cavalry running circles around him. I've tied down... Oh yeah, and for good measure, this was the surprise I was looking for, he brought Hanzo's Shadows. Okay, this is an army I can beat. Balance beats hero spam just about every single time. Also, the bombs are routing his own men, as well as my... and now you're shooting into your own men. You're going to tag a few of mine, so all of that money, and you got barely half a unit of Ashigaru, and I've taken your guns almost to half strength. Your ninja were a pleasant surprise. But I'm not terribly worried. And now, since you have no spears protecting anything, guess what Hanzo's Shadows or any gun unit, or most heroes, are susceptible to? They're susceptible to cavalry. So I'm going to charge. I'm trying to get to Hanzo's Shadows. I'm not going to kill very many, but I am going to get into his gunners. And now, of course, he's shooting into Hanzo's Shadows, which is great. I've got more cavalry running rings around him. I'm going to get in. I do get caught up on his spears, but I'm going to rout his heavy gunners, so that's money wasted. He's shooting into his own infantry and into his own guns again, so again that's fine. Unfortunately, I've only killed one of his Hanzo's Shadows. Used properly, Hanzo's Shadows can be a deadly unit. I'm trying to tear into his guns, but he's got spears there, so I'm just going to pull my cavalry back. Over here I do lose 1, but again, let's go over the damage we've caused at the expense of, what did I say? I had 2 light cavalry and 2 Yari cavalry. So at the expense of, let's see what I have left. That's a Yari cavalry and that's a light cavalry. So this one's half strength. So 1 full unit of Yari cavalry, mid-rank veteran, that one's 960, I think, for the amount of upgrades I spent. The light cavalry I brought that's dead it was a veteran of 1 or 2, so he was 480. I've ripped out the the heavy gunners are dead. I've caused damage to several other units. And I have still basically 1.5 units of cavalry left, and these spears are at half strength. So the amount of money my opponents invested and the amount of money I've invested into that early engagement, I came out on top. I'm also happy to let him shoot into my bows, because first of all, his matchlocks are all in a nice big blob, so only the front rank is firing. They don't do fire by rank by default, and I hear that it doesn't work, depending on how it's used. So anyways, don't want to rant too much, but I kind of am. These attendants are, they're a waste of money, whatever. He's still shooting through his own men. Great. These katanas are fine. These guys are fine, but what have we done over here? That's right, heavy gunners are gone. These matchlocks are down a third almost. Well, they're down 10 men, 11 men. These guys are down a few. These guys are down a few. So I think it's so far it's a fair trade. And his general's dead. Don't forget that. And his cavalry is dead. He had no support. I really, these kind of builds I don't understand because they're not going to work. You're relying on brute force and probably tactics from other games that came out after this to win a battle. So for now, I'm perfectly happy just to shoot into his matchlocks because matchlocks can't shoot through a building, and that volley is going to kill. This was a full unit too. That volley is going to kill quite a few, and that one too. So again, so 2 volleys from my bows and you're down 25 men. 2 volleys from your matchlock into 2 units. This one's down 2. And where's my other bow? He's running around. My other bow is down 1 from 2 volleys from that matchlock Ashigaru based on how they're deployed. So yeah, I think I'm coming out okay on this so far. I'm happy to keep skirmishing and pulling back. I don't want my opponent to get the dojo, so I've decided at this point that no matter how much gunfire comes down, these guys are not running away. They will dick around and move, but I want to keep somebody close so that they can't capture the building. I want to keep that, or at least deny them from keeping it. So just moving into, trying to get into the radius there. I do get into his matchlocks again, using them as a screen. They're not firing anymore because he's not using the trick to keep them firing, and now his matchlocks are moving, which is great, so I can now have the choice of flanking into these or continuing into these matchlocks. Matchlocks are not typically a skirmishing unit. There's a way you can do it, and because I hate them so much, I'm not going to tell you how to use them. So here we go, flanking. Okay, great, you're throwing bombs into your own infantry. Fine, keep doing that. Yeah, as far as I'm concerned, this Yari Samurai is a sacrifice. My bows are a sacrifice. They're going to keep staying there and taking all the shots they want, all the bombs that you want to throw at them, because taking out your matchlocks is of far more value to me than losing another 20 or 30 samurai in an anti-cav unit that is now going to go and tie you down. Or just get in the way. And again, shooting into your own men. I'd love to know why that's a good thing. I don't understand. Shooting through your own men is never a good idea. And I'd like to say that I used a lot of tactics on this one. I'd like to say that I used a lot of strategy. I didn't. I really just ran around in circles and used an army, a balanced army, to take out an opponent, and used the terrain, used what terrain there was, like the building, or terrain objects, like the building and the trees, to keep my opponent from shooting into my high value units like my general, and to keep my opponent from overwhelming me with gunfire. Now some of it was, you know, I relied on possibly some inexperience, but this was a medium battle. I don't think inexperience at this point really matters. These bows are basically going to be useless at Hanzo's shadows, so I'm charging them up into melee just to tie them down. And the way to get rid of hero units is to swarm them. These matchlocks, thankfully, are not firing. They're going to get flanked. They're not going to hit my general. My bows are still firing into the matchlocks. These are the Turcos, so they're pretty good in melee, but at least if I tie them down, they can't fire. So now the whole unit's in melee. Still pouring arrows into them. I mean, they have good armor, so it's going to be hard to kill those tersos, but I mean, your army's dead at this point. I don't usually want to come off condescending in these videos. I don't usually want to come off as a jackass, but this one I kind of do, I know. But anyways, hope you guys enjoyed.